I'm coming after you hip hoppers again. I'm going to use Nas again as an example of how hip hoppers have killed hip hop. Hip hoppers are people who like to debate the intricacies of the culture, who's lyrical, who's not, boom bap, blah, 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 blah. The biggest characteristic of a hip hopper, they don't purchase music, but they're always online debating the music, debating the culture. I'm going to use Nas. Dropped 6 albums in 3 years. Let's go ahead and do the numbers. King's Disease 1. First week sales, 29,000 copies. King's Disease 2. 47,000 copies. These are digital downloads, what they call equivalent albums. King's Disease 3. 29,000 copies. He actually sold 8,500 of pure albums, actual albums, for a grand total for the King's Disease trilogy of 113,500 sales. That's a trilogy for 3 albums from Nas. Top 5 MC, arguably in some circles #1 out of all the people who ever picked up a microphone and said that I am a rapper. Nas is top 5 and in some circles #1. Now let's go through the Magic trilogy. Magic, first week sales. Magic 1, 22,000 units. First week. Magic 2, 29,000 units the first week. Magic 3 sold less than 16,000 units. These are downloads. For a grand total of the Magic trilogy, 67,000 copies. And a grand total for the 6 albums in 3 years, $180,500. This is where the hip hoppers come in, because the hip hoppers have been online talking about Nas bringing back hip hop for the past 3 years when he dropped these 2 trilogies, 2 3-peats. But they're not buying the music. The reason I know they're not buying the music, you can look at the sales. All of those albums should have went platinum. I'll use Nas, and I will continue to post these artists to prove that the hip hoppers are killing the culture because they're not purchasing the music. They're just online debating about it. And you can go and find hundreds of articles where Nas was giving critically acclaimed reviews for those albums. Where are the record sales? Where are the record sales? Nas's highest selling album was It Was Written. That album shipped 3 million copies in 1996. So even if everyone who purchased It Was Written, diehard Nas fans, again, I said in my previous video, each one of Nas's albums should have went platinum. Those 6 albums should have sold at least 1 million copies per album on the low end. That means all the fans, at least of It Was Written, would have went and purchased. Say, for instance, we'll take 1 million off. People change lives. Things happen. Say 2 million. 2 million people purchased each one of those 6 albums. Nas should have had 6 platinum albums actually purchased. 6 million copies. Each one of those albums should have sold 1 million copies. But the hip hoppers, they'll come online and they'll debate you and talk about the album, but they don't purchase the music. They don't purchase the music. Proofs in the record sales. And they'll say, well, record sales isn't everything. Record sales is everything. Because with record sales, your artist can continually put out music and go on tour. And the reason I use Nas is because he's cream of the crop. There's no reason Nas shouldn't have went platinum with all of those albums, because everybody's online talking about it. How he saved hip hop. Even on one of those King's Disease had Lauryn Hill on the track. Like I said, hip hoppers have ruined this culture, this whole online thing. They cause so much division with their debates and things of that nature, but they're not purchasing albums. The biggest characteristic of a hip hopper is they don't purchase the albums. Comment below.